All right, guys. So before we get started on the handout, I need to kind of explain the difference between an x equals and a y equals when it's just a number like that. So on the back, I'm gonna go ahead and put that if you have an x equals, and it can be whatever number, the graph, all right, goes up and down. So no matter what, you're gonna go ahead and see this x equals, and it's just a straight line going up and down, all right? Another little note is the slope is undefined. All right, we don't really need this today, but the slope is undefined when you see a graph going up and down. All right, we have a y equals. All right, the graph goes left and right. So these are just perfect straight lines. All right, like that. Slope is 0. All right, we don't really need to know the slope stuff. You just need to know there's an x equals and a y equals, okay? So, for example, right here, I have an x equals, and it says 1. So I'm gonna look at my x line, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a line where the 1 is, right? So I'm just looking at the number. Let me draw a line going like this. All the way through. All right, this is my x equals 1 line, easy. All right, so check. All right, we're good here. Next, the y equals 1. Remember, the y goes this way. So I'm gonna look at the y line, go where the 1 is, right here, and draw a line. All right, so the first thing you wanna do for this handout, all right, look to see if there's an x equals or a y equals, and then graph it. We need 2 lines for each one of these, all right? So for example, like right here, y equals positive 3. So you're gonna have a line on the y axis, go to 3, draw your line. Over here it says y equals negative 3. So on the y line, go to negative 3, draw your line. All right, I think that's the only ones. Okay. Now for the rest of them, we're gonna go ahead and use the calculator to help us graph the stuff, okay? So I'm not gonna do these because these are kind of easy because you only have 1. All right, let's do the one that has 2. So what we're gonna do is we need to get these in y equals form. All right, so step 1, actually, let me write down the steps. Well, you know, it's fine, let's do it here. Everyone circle the x. All right. We're gonna move the x to the other side. It has to be opposite. The opposite of a plus 5 is a minus 5x, so write that down. And then whatever's in front of the y, all right, put your little lines like this. We're gonna divide. So divide by the 3, divide by the 3, scratch that out. So now the y is by itself, the y is positive. So I'm gonna rewrite it down here just so I have some space. So I have y equals. So all we did was move that x number and then divide the number in front of there. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And we're gonna leave this as a fraction because that's not gonna be a whole number. 5 divided by 3 is a weird decimal, right? So we're gonna do the same thing here. I have this negative x, and I'm gonna move it. The opposite of a negative x is gonna be a plus x. Now some people said, Mr. S, can I put a 1 in the front? Yes. If you wanna put a 1 in the front, if that's better for you, go ahead. This number in the front of the y, that's a positive 3. So again, we're dividing a 3. Scratch it out. So now I'm left with y equals negative 6 divided by 3. That's actually a whole number. It's negative 2. You can type it in the calculator if you want. Plus, and then this is your fraction 1/3 x. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and put in the calculator because we're in the y equals form, right? So we have a y equals button. That's why we put it like that. So let's type it in, 4, and then this will be a minus sign. 5 divided by 3, x. All right, very basic. This is a negative, so you have to push this little key on the bottom, negative 2. All right, oh, sorry, then move down. Negative 2, there you go. Plus 1 divided by 3x. All right, we're gonna push a second trace. We're looking for the intersect. Where do these things cross? The whole goal of this subject is to look for where they cross. All right. Now, you guys, some people don't like when the calculator does this. Notice how it's like not perfectly centered. All right. You can push zoom, and then, and this is only if it's not centered. And where it says standard, number 6, and it'll go ahead and do this, right? But now I have to do the second trace thing. All right, let me do it again. Second trace, number 5, and then enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So right here, guys, we have the intersection. My answer is 3, -1. All right, so 3, -1. All right, so the way this works, I got 3, -1. That's my answer. But I do have to draw my lines. Now remember, guys, we only need another point. We already have the point. All right, let me show you how to get it in the calculator. I'm just gonna show you. A lot of people like this yesterday. Push trace, right? Just push trace. You notice when you push trace, you're on this blue line. I'm gonna go ahead and put 0, enter, and we have a point, guys. Look at that, 0, 4. All right, 0, 4, right here. That's the blue line. Just connect them as straight as you can. Boom. Now, if I go ahead and I move my marker, I want this marker to jump to the red line. Look, I'm gonna push down. All right, and look, 0, -2. All right, 0, -2. And now I have that red line. Draw it as straight as you can. Go all the way through, guys. Make sure you go all the way through. All right. And it makes sense, guys, because look, there's the 4. Remember, the 4 tells you where to start, and then this is the -2 that also tells you where to start, right? So you have your 2 lines, and you have the answer. That's all you really need, all right? If you need help converting, if you want to do all that first and then plug it in the calculator, that's fine. If you want scratch paper, let me know so you can do it on the side, because it is kind of messy. Like, we're kind of running out of space. All right, and that's all you're doing, guys. Move the X, all right? Move the X to this side, and then divide by whatever's in the front, all right? So some of them are kind of easy, like this one. All right, you have a -2x. What's the opposite of a -2x? You should be thinking, well, +2, or positive. And this one's easy because look, is there anything in front of the y? This is positive. If it's positive, we're good. If it's negative, that's different, but we're good because it's positive. So this is y equals -4 plus 2x. All right, you see, we're already ready for the calculator. And then from here, remember this number, the one that does not have the x on it, the -4, that means that I'm gonna have a dot right here. That's my point. All right. Now, to find how to graph it, all right, and this is kind of super advanced, guys, the slope. Let me show you the slope. The slope is 2 divided by 1. You want to make it a fraction because we're going to use rise divided by run. If that's positive, it goes up, and then this is always going to go to the right. So from this starting point, that number, I'm going to go up 2 units, and then I'm going to go over 1 unit. So watch. Start here, put your pencil, and then count 1, 2, over 1. 1, 2, over 1. Look at this pattern. 1, 2, over 1. You see the line? 1, 2, over 1. This is my line. And this right here is the answer. Where is this? Starting from the center, 1, comma, -2. So see, you don't need a calculator. Right, but that is super advanced stuff. All right. So go ahead, finish the rest of the handout, guys. And then when you're done, you have an exit ticket. You know, try this one. Try the rise over run. Try it on this one. And call me so you can see if you can figure it out. If you can do it without the calculator.